We don't need an intro.
And here from the Hill.
We don't need an
in
intro.
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
We just
home
walk in.
of the Razorbacks. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. And now, the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Berry.
Hey, we don't need any stinking fancy intro on this show.
Good morning.
Hey, who cares if the computers aren't working today? All I know is I stayed with them to the very last out last night, and I'm dragging a little bit today. I'm not going to lie to you. I kept thinking they're going to come back. Something's going to happen here, and they're going to come back. But that A&M pitcher kept setting them up, mowing them down, and here we are.
Yeah,
they got to come back, sweep a twin bill today.
I was angry last night. I
Were
was
you
upset. Well, yeah, because this team's never out of it. And that's what makes you stay up late.
I know.
And it makes you stay and watch the last at bat. And the last strike, the last out. And so I had one eye open. And I knew, I was in that zone.
I know the zone.
Where you're ready to go to sleep. And you don't want to fight that because if you do, you might get an accidental second win, right?
That's right.
And so I want to drift off. And then I hear, Diggs has gotten a hit as my eyes start closing. And then Davalon's up, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, this could be – like, part of me wanted them to hit it out and tie the game, but I wasn't going to make it for extra innings. So I was like, you need to just finish it off. This is just my own personal place here. It's not about the Hogs.
I understand.
It's not about the standings. It's not about anything. It's just me. It's all about me in this moment.
I hear you.
And I thought for sure Davalon was going to hit one in the gap, and then, we're going to go another. And Eloy might hit one out.
That's what I thought.
He'd struck out twice after homering. And that Weston Moss, like, can we never see that guy again? I mean, you got to tip your cap to that guy.
He's good.
I mean, what a great job. I mean, how do you hit that pitch?
Well, the best part is you may not have to today. I mean, I would think that he's probably done after pitching last night. But who knows? I mean, they've won 8 in a row. Here's the thing. We get caught up. I do it. Everybody does it. You get caught up in looking at somebody's overall record. But a baseball season's so long. Even a team that finishes in last place is going to have a 2 or 3 week period where they play well. Look at all levels of baseball. Even the lousy teams have good runs. And I don't, for the record, think A&M's a lousy team. But my point is that teams get hot. And when they get hot, they're hard to beat. And A&M's hot right now. And if Arkansas is going to win this series, obviously they've got to sweep a doubleheader today. I don't think there are very many things in baseball harder than sweeping a doubleheader.
9-inning games, too.
Yeah,
They're
both
not
of them
7.
9-inning games. It's going to be a marathon day. So you're going to have to get after it today. Dave didn't sound very happy when it was over.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the kind of Dave you need, right? That's the kind of Dave
so.
that gets you ready for I'm not that he's not always like that.
Yeah.
But when
Dave, he doesn't like to lose.
But he saves the extra. I mean, like any good coach, he saves the extra for when he needs it, and I'm sure that he's got that for these guys coming out of last night's game. I'm pretty sure.
The Weston Moss is their guy. I mean, they took a shot there in the 5th and brought him in, and we had our shot to get to him, and we couldn't quite get that big hit. We had 2 innings against him, and we had a couple guys on where we needed one more hit to at least score, and we couldn't get it. So that's kind of the way I assess it. We didn't get the hit when we needed it, and they did.
I alluded to this a second ago. Yeah, he didn't sound very happy, and they'll be ready to play today. And not that they weren't ready to play yesterday.
They're ready to play right now.
Ready to, yeah.
David,
they're probably he's probably at the park.
They're up. I guarantee
you. I don't know how you hit that pitch. I mean, I'm not Nate Thompson, and I'm not the Arkansas hitters, and I've certainly never been at that level, and I'm not a former big leaguer and all. But like, how do you hit that pitch? You want to be upset, but when you're throwing that whatever it is changeup, that 83 mile an hour like ball that starts here, and there's a dip to it, it looks like a fastball, and whatever you call that pitch, they were calling it a changeup, but it was more than that to me. And I don't know how you hit that pitch. It looks like a fastball. It's kind of low in the zone, and it's fallen in like a 3-inch area that is so hard to time up. I mean, when Kahio Eloy got his bat on it and hit a chopper to shortstop, I thought that was an accomplishment just to get a bat on it.
He's Kevin Kopp's like.
The good thing is Chuck's right. You're not going to see him again this weekend. He threw 67 pitches yesterday. That's his second highest pitch count of the year.
Yeah, he's
so
done.
so you're not going to have to deal with him again.
No, he's done.
No, that's the good news. But I'm just tipping my cap.
Yeah.
That's baseball. But that's baseball, too. And that's the scary thing when you get in a tournament situation where, you run into someone like that. Like we all talk about the pop-up and the national championship that was right there. We never talk about the next day and the gem that crafty lefty from Oregon State,
Kevin Abel,
threw. I mean, that was like, that's a double whammy.
Threw his arm out.
But that was quite a performance.
Well, I think one thing you have to remember, though, it is one game in the regular season. It's not the postseason. And I was struck last night and I'm the same way. We want to win every game. I mean, everybody wants to win every game.
100%.
And whether we admit it or not, we all apply from time to time a football and a basketball mentality. There is a sense of urgency in every game, in every series. Arkansas is going through a period right now, and every long season brings this. A week or two, or maybe you're not playing at the level you were the week or two before that. Now, I also think, too, I don't think, for example, Arkansas played a terrible game last night. I think A&M's playing well right now. And a hot team's hard to beat. And it's going to be tough today. But, sometimes in a long season you do go through a period where you scuffle a little bit. And then you play a hot team, and all of a sudden you're not winning like you were before. But let's see where they are in a month.
You can't win every game, and we've talked about, and especially coming out of the Georgia series, like you need to go through some rough patches and play your best at the end. And I know that, and I knew that watching the game last night. And I'm not proud to admit this, but as I was drifting off to sleep and they got the last out, I may have muttered a swear word before I closed my eyes.
Look, this is going to happen. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think they set the world on fire against UAPB midweek. And I just think they're kind of going through a little stretch right now where they're still really good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're still a really, really good team. They've just dropped, 3 or 4 now in conference play. And we've not seen them do that. But they're going to be all right. They're going to be fine.
They'll be just fine.
Yeah.
They are in the middle of their adversity, though. And it's going to get difficult moving forward. They got some really tough series coming up, but I'm not worried about it. It's like when we were in basketball season talking about micro and macro. I mean, this is this moment, this game, then there's the overall season or picture.
But I do think it's important to play well. You don't always have to win the game. Sometimes you're just going to get beat. Sometimes the other side plays better. But it is important to play well. And when you consider what they've got coming up, I mean, they've still got to go to Florida, and I know Florida's struggled, but they're like 21-3 in non-conference games. I mean, they're pretty good.
Florida's
They just can't win a conference game. Maybe that'll help. You still got LSU coming up. You still got to play Texas. You still got to play Tennessee. So there are games out there. You're not going to win them all. You're not. And it'd be great to win the regular season. Sure would. But as Cal reminded us in basketball, and as we need reminding every time we get into basketball and then baseball season, there's March for basketball, and there's June, late May and June for baseball. And that's when the worth of your season is going to be determined, because our programs, both of them, are at the point where we don't define success on what happens in the regular season. We define it on what happens in the postseason. And we've still got a ways to go before we get there.
Cal had a exciting video.
I saw
fans.
that.
We'll get to that coming up. We got some updates on the roster from Cal, from his office, speaking to the people, like the Pope from the Vatican.
There was a great moment last night to take me out to the ball game thing. That was great.
Well,
we told you about Cam Ball and Taylor Green. We're going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
If you hadn't seen any of his media stuff,
he's awesome.
Like they've got a bunch of it on Hogs Plus. But if you haven't gotten to know Cam Ball at all through some of the things that he's done, like I think they have a hot wing eating contest with him. Like, how hot is it? I forget what they call it. But
Hog ones. It's a play on hot ones.
Hot ones, hog ones. Okay.
It's the constant chatter. It's the nonstop
Mr.
commentary
Personality.
that he provides that makes him fun.
Like Taylor Green was there with Cam Ball to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," but that's all he was.
Cam Ball featuring Taylor Green.
Yes. It's Cam.
Now, if that song was a football play, the head coach would have said, "Run it again."
Yeah.
But
let's try.
You know, there were points there where it kind of drifted. But the point is that
the video's great.
They had a great time doing it. And the video's good.
Like seeing Cam Ball and Taylor.
Hey, it's nice
Cam's
to see guys have fun. It's nice to see guys have fun.
Yeah, you want to try it? I think you and I could. I think we could do okay.
Let me hear you.
Yeah. you
All
would
right,
do the Harry
let
Carey.
me hear you.
You'd do the straight Harry Carey.
Yeah. Well, we got to have,
Why not?
It's awfully early. Harry usually did it four
you
beers
need a couple of
deep.
Budweisers first.
Yeah.
Well, and also
It wasn't any Bud Light back then. It was all Bud Heavy.
We're in the first inning.
Carey.
We're in the first inning here.
We
need to wait. We'd
yeah.
have to get to the seventh inning stretch
Make
of the
seventh
show,
inning anticlimactic.
and then we'd be kind of ready for it. I don't know that anybody's. And I'm not just talking about us. I don't know that anybody's ready for it.
I don't think so.
Right now, as we're getting up and getting rolling on Good Friday. Good morning, 877-377-6963. So much to get into. We're just scratching the surface with baseball, but so much with basketball to talk about.
Football spring game. Weather's actually looking a little bit better for today for the baseball. Tomorrow afternoon's supposed to rain, so I don't know about the football, but I guess we'll find out.
That's what we're all kind of counting on, right? Like it's going to be a bad weather day on Saturday.
Well, it sort of looks
just
that way.
That's where we are today. Things could change.
It could.
As we told Bart yesterday.
It's gotten better as the weeks progressed. I mean, there for a while it was supposed to start pouring down rain late today. Now it's not supposed to start until tomorrow, but it's supposed to hit its apex in the afternoon.
Bart, guaranteed.
I don't mean
Saturday,
to speak out of turn.
Well,
we should go to Bart.
I guarantee that it's going to rain.
You basically told Chuck and I to not bother leaving the house on Saturday, and you guaranteed it.
You said, don't even worry about that spring game broadcast.
And I remember telling you,
said that,
I don't know if you remember this, and I just want to make sure we reiterate, you're not in charge of the universe.
That's right.
You don't run this thing. Anything could happen tomorrow.
That's right. Well, look.
So do you want to leave a chance for that?
Look, thunderstorms likely starting early in the wee hours of the morning tomorrow. And then, we're looking at...
Does it say wee hours in the forecast?
No, it doesn't, Chuck.
Okay, I just wondered.
No, it doesn't.
Good morning. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. So what we're going to have to do here is y'all are going to have to tell us when they want to fire the local breaks, because apparently our breaks aren't playing. I didn't expect, Chuck, that 3 days in, the whole thing would go south.
Well, let me just say
I kind of
this.
expected day one.
Let me just say this. Behind the scenes at the Chuck and Bo Show this week, it's been tumultuous. And I commend Edward. I commend Bart.
Yeah.
Because even though things aren't working right, I would have no idea how to do it myself. So I will not cast stones.
Well,
we can certainly try again if we want.
Well, by all means, we're here. We're everything's organic on this show, as we've said before.
Yes!
Look at that! You went into the Hall of Fame. I think it was at a Western Sizzler.
I think it was. It was at a motel. It wasn't a hotel. It was a motel.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm leaving for more money if I can find it. The portal's open on the show.
Okay.
I think the NPR station's on the phone.
Nah, their funding's been cut.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That's interesting little beat coming back right there.
That's his. Fleetwood Mac.
Good morning. It's
Fleetwood,
Friday.
Old people's music.
Chuck knows.
Good Friday.
I know all the old people's music.
Is that what you're
Edward
doing?
plays.
Are you taking requests from the staff?
Yeah. What do you want to hear?
Yeah.
That?
Sometimes you don't even have to request. It just plays.
Look at that. That thing is.
That's some resort music
I'm
right
gonna
there.
tell
not
you,
supposed to
I like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, please do.
I don't like last night was difficult on Arkansas hitters. Weston Moss was incredible as on the mound for A&M. I just tipped my cap to him. I knew we had a problem when I came in today, and his name was on a sticker on the computer.
Oh,
Like that. That Weston Moss is kicking Edwards' butt this morning.
That sticky note.
He's like,
the dreaded sticky note.
You see, you can't. It's like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. He's waking up, and everything he touches has that defensive line chasing
I'm
him all
getting
over the
blitzed
field
right now, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Exactly. Continuously.
He's completely baffled.
We've got help on the phone.
On the cell phone.
We're efforting it.
Trying to figure out exactly
So
what's
now
going
would be
on.
a good time to have people start calling in and let you answer calls too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Multitask.
that sounds
Let's
good.
overwhelm Edward today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see what we can do. And
Let's
just
make
the first
Edward
hour
Send me
here.
into a
Explode.
panic.
Yeah. And Bart, you sit over there in the situation room and analyze it.
Yeah. Analyze the situation.
What's going on? We had Chuck do play-by-play of a car wash yesterday.
How would you assess the room right now, Bart?
Well, I think spirits are still high, and it's Friday, and we just got to fight through it.
Yeah.
Well, they are high. I was just, I just tricked myself into believing a lot of things that aren't true about, like exciting things coming, and I need to stay there.
That's great.
I don't want to think about how difficult the rest of the day might be or anything like that.
You have to wade through the weeds
Yeah.
to get there. You have to go through the bad part.
I did not go to Ruth's Chris last night. If you were
I
wondering.
heard you went earlier
Yeah,
this
I
week,
did. I
though,
went earlier
and
this
I heard
week.
it was great.
Yeah. It's
And,
like the Masters. Like, do you have any friends that went to
Yeah.
the Masters?
Have I told you
And
about
then-
the Masters?
And it's like, and then every time you see him again, so didn't you go to the Masters?
Every story gets back to, I was at the Masters last weekend. And I was at the Masters last weekend. I ran into so-and-so. I saw him at the Masters.
Everything relates back to
Yes,
it.
exactly.
So Lee Corso is retiring.
I saw that.
He's going to have one more game, like the first game day.
Yeah, first week of the season.
Yeah. Alabama plays at Florida State that weekend, and, he played at Florida State, and I'll bet that's where they have it.
We got the transfer portal watch with Nico going on. We got the weather watch with Arkansas football on Saturday. Baseball's already. This is what I don't understand it. Well, I guess I do to a certain extent, but it's kind of interesting to me that the same university athletic department calls a doubleheader and we can't even play baseball on Saturday, so we're going to do a doubleheader on Friday, but we're waiting on the football game.
Yeah. Well, it's
kinda
hard to
made me
play a
just go,
spring football game on Friday. It's hard.
No. What I mean is if the weather's so bad on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Like, should we just go ahead and say that's probably not going to happen either, or are we just kind of holding on maybe because they are two different scenarios. But I also don't think they're going to play in a downpour. Are you going to play a spring game in a downpour?
Not in a
lightning.
thunderstorm.
Well,
no.
forget lightning, but like if it's just really raining hard.
No, I don't think so. I think if it's just raining, if there's some rain, showers.
Yeah.
I think they might
Like a little Florida pop-up shower.
Try to do a few things, but I don't. If there's a downpour and really affects the field, and obviously if there's lightning, they're not going to do it.
We're going to have Kyle Peterson, ESPN college baseball analyst, on the show.
Good.
Later. And Sam Pitman,
Sam
Arkansas
Pitman,
head coach,
the head ball coach,
buried the lead there. Coach, but if you're following us on social, you know this.
You already know.
You know it's Sam Pitman's on the show this morning.
all over
at 8. Cal released a video yesterday that we're going to get to, basically announcing who's in right now.
And they all
on the
were
roster.
Participants in the video.
They're like, I'm in.
You hear them themselves say, coming back.
And then he went to Carter Knox, and we mentioned this, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
That Carter was going to test the NBA waters. Cal made that official yesterday. Didn't say he expects Carter back, but I read between the lines, and it sounds like there's a good chance of that. 37-year-old Chad Baker Mazzara at Auburn.
He's in the portal.
Who played in 1,200 basketball games at Auburn in his career, has put himself in the portal. Now, this is a classic case of what Chuck mentioned yesterday. Be careful about how you talk about people.
I thought about the very same thing. I thought about the very same thing yesterday when I saw that.
Next year, they could be on your team.
Know.
And I'm not suggesting.
I've always liked him. That boyish enthusiasm.
I've always thought he was mature.
Yeah, that boyish enthusiasm really overcomes all the things the outside world perceives.
Exactly. It's not, he was misunderstood.
I've already been working
Just
on it.
wait till we do a hog pot on him and explain who he really is.
I expect tears.
Yeah.
I expect tears because nobody gets
will.
closer.
Yeah,
you should.
It's an Oprah.
You should go to the heart of the matter.
It's my Oprah moment.
That's right.
Chad Baker, Missouri. I don't think Arkansas is going there, but just for fun, if they did for a minute.
That would be good.
Boy, we'd be walking that back.
Oh, we would.
Like people still love that shirt that says, I hate, cross it out, love Cal.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, that is good. And I did think about that yesterday.
I think I'm still going to crack the jokes.
Yeah.
I think I would still crack the jokes.
My gosh.
Get a job, man.
He's got to stay true.
He's going to be.
He does a great job.
Yeah, he's got a job that pays him, close to $1 million a year.
It's time to go pro in something other than sports.
It sounds like he's doing better than I am.
I don't know if he's
I'll
going
give
to
him that.
He's going to get paid anywhere else to do what he can do in sports. I may creep you out a little bit that he's going to, college with your little sister as an old man.
I know. He's creepy. It's that creepy old guy who plays for the basketball team.
What do you mean? He's 8 years older than you.
That's right.
We have a class together.
Oh, it's so
What
gross.
are you talking about? We have a class together. I don't know. I mean, that's so he's in the transfer portal. Pat McAfee show yesterday had Pete Thamel on. We should get Pete Thamel on. Pete's a good dude. He's a friend. We should. I meant to get Reese on today and totally just. I apologize. We can talk about Corso anytime though between now and
you can.
and the end of his career. So
That's
we'll get
true.
Reese on. Reese Davis to talk about that. But Pete Thamel was on yesterday with McAfee, and he talked about Nico's value in the market and how it's not going great. And in fact, he doesn't think he's going to get paid what he even was making at Tennessee. Let's listen in on this. I thought we were going to go to break, but I see Edward is over there wrestling with Weston Moss's changeup.
How we doing over there, Edward? Are you still baffled?
I think we're getting on track.
Where are you in the count? Is it 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, or is it a payoff pitch on the way?
We're not to that.
It was 0-2. I just took a pitch.
He's just fouling off pitches right
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
He's just
That's what
fouling
he's
off
doing.
Staying alive.
He's just fouling off
We're
pitches.
a 9-pitch at bat so
Treading
far.
water. That's for sure.
He's just spoiling those pitchers'
When you're
pitches.
ready to try it, send me a signal. And the signal is, Bo, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go right now, Bo.
Yeah, that's the signal, okay? So there's no.
He's not saying it either.
There's no like, hey, here's the signal to steal. It's like, steal.
That's right. You run.
Steal.
Go
You
on
run.
the next pitch.
Okay.
Steal.
All right, we're going to break. Here we go. 3. There it is.
Yes.
There it is. If I didn't have you and Bart and Edward to lean on, where would I be? And I think about other people that don't have that.
That's what we do. We lift each other up.
Yeah.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
There you go.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
at minimum, we need to have a good old water gun fight.
You guys ever throw water balloons when you were kids?
Oh, yeah.
You ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
Or eggs. We just throw eggs at each other.
Man. Well, eggs are too expensive now. I mean, it's like, it's like you're throwing $5 silver at somebody.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That's funny. I saw a story on one of these news services. I'd give them credit, but I can't remember which one it was. Probably that crap Smart News app that Chuck sent me. Maybe had me download because he would share stories from Smart News. And
that is as tabloid as it gets, man. It is so tabloid.
But you got to download the app to read the story that you said. It's a total con.
It is a con, and I've fallen hook, line, and sinker for it. It's like reading the National Enquirer.
There's good stuff.
I mean, you find some nuggets in there every once in a while.
If you read long enough, you'll find some truth in there.
Yeah.
But there was a story, maybe it was on that said people were backing off their Easter egg painting this year because of the price of eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like, oh, wow, that doesn't impact me.
Yeah, it doesn't impact me either. I don't eat a lot of eggs, and I haven't been to an Easter egg hunt.
And if you're doing an Easter egg hunt, you just get those plastic ones and put, Starburst in
exactly.
there. And then there's the golden egg, and it's got $1.
It's got that Cadbury egg inside there.
Right.
You know.
You can go. I guess there are some pretty expansive Easter egg hunts, though, like a lot of money on the line and that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Bart, do people gamble on Easter egg hunts? Can we go to the Oaklawn app and find something on the big Easter egg hunt?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think so, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Did you notice how he hesitated? I was thinking, I wonder if I could figure out a way to run some book on this.
Bet on which kid collects the most eggs.
Hey, you know what? When I'm with my family this weekend, my nieces and nephew, I'm now gambling.
Well, you could do head-to-head like they do in golf. You could do the head-to-head.
I think there are going to be like some little like cousins around too.
Right.
So I'm going to put an odds board together.
Right.
Bart, no, I don't. You're going to be over there. Just there'll be a gaggle of guys around you, and you'll have a stack of cash in your hand.
Yeah.
And just wadded up bills, and you're like in the movies where they just
like in Caddyshack.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what's going to be happening this
all
weekend.
the Pullmans gathered around Bart.
ESPN college football insider Pete Thamel.
Really, picture it.
The sad. Well, I don't know if it's sad or good or I don't know the right adjective, but it could very well happen.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound implausible.
Have you ever dressed up as an Easter bunny?
Well, of
no.
course.
Yeah.
No. Sure he has.
Certainly not. I draw the line at being a Muppet.
That's the role of the uncle, though. That's the role of the fun uncle.
I'm not dressing up as a Muppet. We're not doing that.
I mean, Brian and Ozark. If we ever get him back, he could be like the Chuck and Bo mascot.
And I think we just lost any chance we had.
He better stay out of Ozark.
Pete Thamel on the Nico Iamaleava situation, even though McAfee.
Iamaleava, please.
Iamaleava.
What did I say, lava?
Lava.
The Iamaleava, I mean,
the floor is Iamaleava.
McAfee says it a different way. Here's Pete Thamel on the market.
Pete, what do we know about this situation? What's real? What's not real? And where does Nico end up at, you think, authority? Because it seems like from the internet, it's like not a lot of schools are still in the Nico Iamaleava running or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That's not right.
That's certainly not it.
Okay. Well,
hey, but he sold it with confidence. You got to give him that.
Right. They continue.
So let's start with his market, Pat. And this is, we have a story up on ESPN.com. Max Olson and I did it. We dove into this. And this is what I have distilled from talking to kind of sources on all sides. What is certain about Nico's market is that he will not get what he's asking, and he will not get the $4 million-ish that was desired from Tennessee, which would be top of the market in this college football 2025 season. That is not going to happen. What's expected is he's going to get less than he was making, which was somewhere in the low to mid $2 million range as part of his initial, then historic deal that got him to Tennessee. What's happening right now is that his market is dropping right now. It's bottoming out. And I am not going to be hyperbolic and say he has nowhere to go or he's not going to end up anywhere, because he is a very good player and he is better than, I would think a majority of college quarterbacks.
Okay. I saw other reports that Thamel had done a survey with a bunch of coaches, and like this guy's market, whatever value, is down $1 million since he left Tennessee. What's interesting to me is not that, because I think we all sort of felt that way. Like he wasn't going to get whatever he was asking for at Tennessee from anybody else either, or maybe he would, but it would be one team, and one team's just doing this, and so he can get it, so take it and go. What's interesting to me in listening to that, and I forget this, he did a historic deal coming out of high school. If he stayed 4 years at Tennessee, he would make $10 million. $10 million. We're not even sure this guy's an NFL quarterback. He would have made $10 million at Tennessee.
My God.
And he is over here saying to himself, you know what, screw this. I think I'm going to put myself on the open market. And I'm like, well, what would make a guy do that besides his dad? And here's the answer. It started with a historic deal. That's where it all began. So I'm good enough to get the historic deal. I can get a more historic deal.
Well, I'm sure that makes sense.
Every time we start like taking these big swings, like what happens in the NFL? What happens in pro sports? Somebody signs a historic deal, right? So what happens with the next guy that comes up for free agency that's a star?
It signs a more historic deal.
More historic deal.
Here's the thing. I
That's
still
what
think,
he's chasing.
I understand, and I still think he's going to end up better off financially than maybe we might like to believe, because we're not down to the end yet. We're not down to the bidding war yet. And there's going to be one. Teams and schools will not allow anybody to know that they're involved in it, but they will be. I mean, this guy can play well enough, and I know that I heard everything Pete Thamel said, and I'm sure today that is the sentiment. But we're not done yet, and I don't think he's going to get $4 million. Don't get me wrong, but I think he'll end up playing for somebody else for about the same amount he ended up playing for Tennessee.
877-377-6963 if you want to call or text the show here on a Good Friday. What are the odds that we have further complications with the Weston Moss computer that runs the show?
How we doing over there, Edward? You seem relaxed all of a sudden.
I wouldn't say relaxed.
Okay.
No, I haven't given up.
The reason I ask is sometimes people get that relaxed look because everything's okay. And then sometimes they get that relaxed look when they've just thrown in the towel.
Why are you not on camera? What, are you on camera? Well, how often is that going on?
Chuck couldn't see the clock, so we moved the camera.
We can't take you off the air because Chuck can't see the clock.
I'm not usually on camera anyway.
Well, first off, I didn't realize that was an active camera. The way it was leaned up against the table.
It wasn't.
I'm thinking that thing's not live.
Pointing at the ground.
Yeah.
There's a hat resting on it.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like that can be moved.
What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why do we not have Edward on camera? Did you opt out and not tell anybody? And then of course I don't pay attention, so I didn't notice.
He wants
now.
a better deal.
Is that it?
That's right.
Like
He's
to
going
be
into
on
the portal.
camera,
Yeah.
you want more.
You're not getting paid to be on camera.
That's what. Yeah, Chuck's hit the nail on the head.
He's like, what? You want it on there so everybody could see me struggle with this?
That would be fun. That would be fun. Let's get a camera set up.
Ringing of hands.
We were talking about this a little bit.
The mumbling of swear words.
We were talking about
there was
this a
some
little
of
bit
that
earlier.
this morning.
Bo and I have been doing this a long time now, but there was a point. Like if I was in here by myself and you were in here or you were in here by yourself 10, 15 years ago and there were problems behind the scenes, oh my God. So there would have been sweat pouring down my face. I would have probably said 1,000 swear words by now.
I'm not above it now. I gotta remind myself. I'm not. I'm
the same way.
I will tell you.
I'm the same way.
There have been days in this building.
I know.
Not that long ago, 6-7 years ago, where I walked across the hall in that bathroom and screamed.
Yeah.
During a break. This sucks. The whole thing is terrible.
Everybody's
we got nothing
awful.
good to talk about.
I'm going home.
Bart, go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
Everybody
I'm so mad.
get
Why
out
couldn't
of
you
here.
make the show better today?
That's right. See what you made me do?
And through all that, I never picked up smoking.
Well, you're not a real radio man.
maybe that's part of the problem. Good morning. DJ Chuck.
I did that for a while.
DJ Chuck. Well, I'm talking about like at a club.
You're assuming I've not done that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
So you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
We care a lot about supporting Arkansas businesses here on the Chuck and Bo Show, and we both like keeping our rides looking good. Splash Car Wash just became our new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're a locally owned Arkansas business, and they've been serving the state since 1989. They're good folks, and you can get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. That's Splash Arkansas to 22322.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I mean, Chuck doesn't give himself enough credit. He knows how to work all the apps.
Really, I don't.
I'll be honest. Like, it's not a technically challenge situation. It's laziness. That's all of us. That's all of us. We can all figure it out.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Happy Good Friday.
Happy
Chuck
Good
and Bo
Friday.
Show. Hope you got big Easter plans. Sunrise service for Chuck, probably. Chuck's a sunrise guy. You know, when you go to a
I'll think about you guys when I'm at church Sunday.
I know you will.
I will.
We'll send selfies
I'll pray for your
from all of our
souls.
well,
And I mean that. I mean your souls.
I appreciate that.
I mean your souls.
Maybe start with our attitudes.
Yeah.
Maybe start with, our outlook.
We're going to go right to. We're going to cut to the chase. We're going to go right to your souls.
Nobody's going to look better than Bart on Easter. He's
I'm
got
aware of that.
Lakeman's watch from the purple bag that we just reached in and pulled out. Like, we're going to start something on the show. What's in the purple bag?
Oh.
I don't know how often we're going to do it.
Okay.
But what's in the purple
What's in the
bag?
bag?
And you're going to look. Are you really wearing a seersucker suit to Easter?
Well, I probably won't wear the full suit, but I will wear a seersucker jacket, sure.
Now, I think I already know the answer to this question. Will you post photos on social media?
I can if you would like me to.
Well,
You're going to hold up the
regardless
watch.
of me.
You're going to hold up the watch
Absolutely.
so it'll be
Put it
front and center.
Put it across your, across your chest.
Cross your arms,
Yeah.
but make sure that the
Right.
watch is
And
visible.
Get your bicep under, get your hand under the other.
Let
arm.
us see those guns.
Watch on top of one. Big.
Well, I'll be
jacket
in
bar
a
on the
jacket,
other.
so.
Yeah. So please do. And then I want to see in the group. I want to see everyone's Easter photos in the group chat.
Okay.
By the way, I know you want me on Slack. I have not looked at Slack one time today, Edward.
I know.
Like, I've got to be reminded, and I've got to get in the habit. I'm useless on that.
It's all right.
So I just want you to know if you've said things in there that are important. I haven't seen them today.
Nothing important.
Now, what do we use Slack for?
So it's the same.
I know it's downloaded on my computer, but
yeah, it's Bart. Let me let Bart explain why
Yeah.
we would use
Why do we
Slack
use that?
instead of or Edward or instead of text messages, instead of like a group message.
just good old fashioned texts.
Well, it's a helpful way to stay organized and keep different things on track and keep track of things that we might want to use on the show, or that maybe it's an idea, maybe it's a sound clip, maybe it's
It's also it's better for file sharing. Too.
I don't know if
it doesn't clog up your iPhone.
I just
storage.
want you to know if you're selling. I just want you both to know. I'm an interested
It also
observer
doesn't involve
right
smart
now.
news.
Well, I just want you to know. I just want you to know you've already lost Chuck on the pitch. Like, I'm watching him.
I know.
And you guys are making a little bit, but you didn't lead with anything that got his attention.
Yeah. It doesn't clog up your storage space on your phone.
3 words into it, I was out.
He put his head down.
Yeah, he did.
How long is this freaking Zoom call going to last? And what the hell am I doing here? And why did you tell me it was about some damn timeshare?
Yeah. When I put my head down and go,
You told me I needed to be here.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on this Zoom now. I can't get out, or I look like a you-know-what.
I know.
And I am just dead to rights here, and I'm looking at the next 30 minutes and all the things I could have been doing.
There's nothing worse than a Zoom call is going nowhere, and you have no reason to be there.
And at every turn, you're reminded of it.
Yeah, and some guy keeps talking, and it's like, come on.
And now Jetty's going to talk about, and now Sam is going to.
What a complete waste of time.
Nothing has been accomplished.
Oh, my gosh. That's true. It's true.
So then we're going to recap the meeting and put it in an email.
But we
and
got
everybody
Slack.
send their feedback.
We got Slack.
Well, Slack does make sense. I get it. It can be, you can organize like you would file folders, in your computer, and it's not all mixed into one just giant.
Well, we
thread.
put a premium on organization around here. That's that's clear.
There's no I in we when you say that.
I said we.
There is no I in we.
You guys cancel me out.
All right, when we come back, the John Calipari video he made for the fans. The players made a video for the fans. It's an exciting time. At least sure feels like that with basketball.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, Gutters.com.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo big chili. They don't bleed hog red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
That yell stuff, that yell leader stuff is the weirdest crap I've ever seen. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen another human do.
I'll tell you what's really weird, too, is
Maybe I'm
watching them
sheltered.
practice. They practice before the games outside the stadium.
If that was happening out front of Circle K this morning at 5:40 or whatever when you're coming in here and you saw that happen, you would call the authorities.
Every time I see it, I expect people to start drinking Kool-Aid and just falling out. I mean, it is nuts.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I was hating the Aggies last night.
Oh, God.
When that guy kept throwing that pitch they couldn't hit.
Oh.
College closer ends up working like 5 or 6 innings.
That's up to about 70 pitches.
Yeah. The good part is he can't work today. He's got nothing left. Arkansas plays a doubleheader at 2 o'clock today. Lost 7-4 to the Aggies last night. And it was a tough one.
Well, and they had the tying run at the plate.
They did.
Arkansas is a really tough out. They always battle. They always compete. And even in these 3 losses, 2 at Georgia, this one to open the series against A&M, they've been right there. Difficult on the mound early. They've had some starting pitching issues. We get Gage Woods back tonight.
He's going to pitch
today,
game 1.
2
yeah,
o'clock.
First game.
Doubleheader.
Yeah.
Two 9-inning games today. 2 o'clock, and then an hour after the first game concludes.
And A&M's hot. I mean, A&M's won 8 in a row now. And Arkansas's kind of run into a team that's putting it together after really struggling early. And, hey, give their pitcher credit. He pitched a great game. But, again, the good part is he's not going to be available today.
And Arkansas just keeps coming. That's the thing about what I like about where they are. They're going to have some games they don't win, obviously. And you can't be at, your peak the entire year. But they just keep coming. They put so much pressure on the other team. And, I don't know if they'll win the series, but I expect Arkansas to be right there in the hunt when we get to a regional and a super regional in Omaha. We're going to get into basketball, but before we do, 877-377-6963. We want to wish you a happy Easter weekend, a happy Good Friday. A lot to celebrate this weekend. Now, Gentle Ben is
the Gentle One
on the Chuck and Bo Show bright and early at 7:05 on Good Friday. Ben, good morning.
Hey, thanks for the privilege, and back at you for all them good Easter wishes. And, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming.
Amen.
And anyway, let's see. I don't know my pitches, I don't think, terminology-wise, but aren't we having a whole bunch of trouble with them off-speed pitchers, off-speed pitches, not somebody that's just chunking the fastball down through there and maybe a curve and all them other pitches, but the off-speed pitches, aren't we having a super hard time hitting and scoring enough runs when they have them pitchers like that show that play? That pitch, that off-speed stuff.
They did last night.
Well, a couple
But
things.
he was really good.
I believe they did a few games earlier, too.
Yeah.
I believe they did a few games earlier, too.
Well, Chuck knows more about this, having called a million pitches of baseball games. But I'll just give you my perspective, having watched plenty of it. Is it's hard for anybody to hit when a pitcher can throw off speed for strikes and multiple types of off speed pitches, and then mix in a fastball just to change the rhythm. That it's just any time a pitcher can throw those for strikes, almost anybody struggles. He had a particular pitch. Okay. I don't know how you hit it. And I don't know anything, but I don't know how you hit that.
He had it working last night.
I don't know how you hit that. And they said it on the broadcast. You throw that pitch for strikes, as much as he is, you're going to pitch for a long time. That is part of the struggle. The thing is we're a little spoiled too. We've watched these guys just rake all year, and when they're all hitting, half the lineup's hitting about 400 going into the series, and I just keep waiting for those averages to come down, because the law of averages facing the kind of pitching they'll face, you're going to come down to around 300.
Well, look at the teams they're playing right now. Look, they went to Vanderbilt, had a great series, probably their best series of the year in terms of a 3-game set. And then they play Missouri. Missouri's terrible. I mean, they are. Let's just be blunt about it.
Let's be like real
blunt about
that.
But my point is this. Georgia is a top 5 team. Texas A&M's won 8 in a row.
They were the preseason number 1.
Preseason number 1. You know, there have been 5 SEC teams, counting A&M, who've been ranked number 1 at some point this year. And what I'm saying is the pitching is better. The reason these teams are ranked where they are, the reason you have the ability to win 8 in a row in the toughest conference in America is because your pitching's good. We've got good pitching. That's part of the reason we've been ranked number 1. For all the talk about offense and things like that, what makes the SEC great is top-level pitching. And we are going to see it from now till the end of this thing because you look at what's coming. Save for Florida, and I guarantee you they got 1 or 2 guys that'll throw good ball games down there at home. But this is what we're going to see the rest of the way. It's going to be nip and tuck from this point forward. But Arkansas's got arms too. I mean, Arkansas is good too. But I know we want to win every game. We want to win every game. There's an ebb and a flow to a baseball season. You play 56 games in the regular season, and then the real season starts. So, you know, sometimes when it and the Razorbacks, it's because of their success that they find themselves in this spot. When they win in the regular season, it's like, well, I want to see what they do in June. You know, when they lose in the regular season, it's up. Here we go again. Here we go again.
I knew we didn't have what it really.
Yeah. I mean, just get ready. I know how all this goes. Yeah. I know we're talking, Ben. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, I just wanted to mention it don't help us sport fans like me, sport fans like me. Well, I'm saying, it's all right. But
Ben just put his hand up on the Zoom call.
Hey, I know my role. I know my role. But here's the deal: we sport fans are more spoiled by watching the women play, and then they win almost every doggone game, and we wonder what's wrong when they finally lose one, and we're not satisfied because we don't win them all. You're right, but you know the women. I mean, y'all had a deal I seen on Facebook that y'all were talking about it, and on the day I didn't listen or call in, and y'all were talking about the women, and I thought, man, I'm getting spoiled by the men and the women because I think one time the girls lost, the ladies lost, and so did the men. And I'm thinking, what is happening to our baseball and softball team? No. I'm smarter than that. Wow. I'm smarter than that.
You are.
But anyway,
that's good, Ben.
I mean,
you're right.
I mean, that's what they pay me. That's what they pay me for. Yeah. You know, to tell y'all when you're wrong and all that.
And we appreciate it. I'm glad you're getting paid.
No, I'm not. Never made a penny. Wow. I got to be one time on there to do the seatbelt thing and made some money off of that for a while, but that wasn't very much money either. But it was fun, you know. Anyway, well, hey guys, thanks for
hold on a second. What was that, Ben?
Yes,
you got to say what about seatbelts?
Well, I mean, it was just the thing about click it or ticket.
Yeah,
but I had to make up my own. I had to make up my own thing because I didn't like the seatbelt. And neither did the police or anybody else. And, you know, I told them, I said, you know, I didn't like it at all. But that click it or ticket, that shoulder harness, when they come out with it, I started to turn y'all up or on or, you know, turn the volume up. And that thing, that shoulder harness just locked in, and I couldn't even get to the radio knob, you know. And it works great, you know. So I just, at the end of it, said, just remember, old General Ben says, you know, save your money, save your life, click it. You know,
or ticket.
Ben. Yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Thanks for throwing that in.
Yeah. Ben, thank you.
Have a happy Easter.
You made me smile today. Thank you.
God bless y'all.
Hey, same to you.
Hey, gentlemen, welcome to Bart's World. I'm going to say 2 sentences and shut up, and you guys are going to talk for 10 minutes.
Right. And forget that you asked me a question.
That might have been the funniest moment on the show so far.
Oh, that was great.
Ben going,
hey, excuse me.
Hey, guys.
Excuse me.
I'm still here. Hey, guys. If you don't mind.
It's so funny and so true.
And so genuinely just real.
It's just perfect.
It was just like, hey, guys, I'm still here.
I'm here.
That is great.
That was fantastic. When we come back, we'll get into basketball in Cal's video and and the NIL world of how much money Arkansas is apparently spending versus other teams. It's the Chuck and Bo Show on a Good Friday.
Bo, if I was as good a husband as you were, a man on the radio, my wife would bow to me every day. You guys are top notch.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville. Man, can you imagine if we all lived together and we just walked into the living room at like 6 a.m. and just started talking each other's heads off? There's no good morning. I can't have my first cup of
somebody
coffee.
would get shot.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
mean, look, we get up early. It's a 6 a.m. start here.
I wear the same thing every day.
You and I have like Jay Leno outfits.
I know,
we wear
that's
in
right.
Here. Yeah.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're headed to the hog pen for the doubleheader today, take a flight by Yingling.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but you put the 16-ounce resealable aluminum bottle in your cooler, and you can sip on that thing, put the cap back on, put it back in the cooler, keep it on ice. Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. Tastes like a Yingling, but just 95 calories. You can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Flight wherever you go. Flight is raising the bar. The next generation of light beer. When you go out, if you're, around town, you want to have an adult beverage, ask them, hey, you got a Flight by Yingling? But you can also get them in stores everywhere. So enjoy that doubleheader today. 2 o'clock first pitch, 7 o'clock-ish maybe for the second game, but it's 1 hour after the first game concludes. All right, we've been talking basketball. We've been talking about the guys that Arkansas got in the portal. Ewan from Florida State, Pringle from South Carolina, the kid from Lebanon, the recruits that they signed that are freshmen. Here's John Calipari talking to the fans yesterday, and he released this on social media.
I just met with the team, and there is a team this year. So let me go over some of the roster, what we're doing.
I should have set this up. Those noises are players' faces popping up on the screen.
Pop-up video.
That's the way they edited it.
On social media.
Who's going to be here? Not quite finished, but I'm feeling really good about this group.
What's up, Hog Nation? Let's run it back. I'm all in.
Yo, what's good, Razorback Nation? It's TB. Just want to say I'm excited to come back and do another year on the hill. Whoopee.
I'm all in, Razorback Nation. Year 2. Let's do it.
What up, though, Hog Nation? Darius A-Cup here. Just here to let y'all know I'm all in, man. Let's do it.
I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all my Arkansas fans.
It's Malik Thomas.
I really just wanted to let y'all know, Hog Nation, I'm all in.
Hog Nation, I'm all in. Let's do it.
Sealy.
Hello, Hog Nation. I'm all in.
And on top of that, you read today, Carter is testing the waters, which I fully agree with. That being said, I'm liking this group.
If you watch the video, I thought Cal was going to say, and Carter's testing the waters, but he'll be back.
Yeah.
He didn't say that.
But we're still hoping.
But DJ Wagner was the first
right.
one.
He was the first one.
So,
they were all in there except for Carter.
Yeah.
They were all in there except for Carter.
And I would expect him back, but I can't.
I think so.
And again, I'm not ruling Thero out from coming back. I think Boogie's a long shot. Again, people think Boogie had a lottery pick projection. He did early in the year. That was not the case later in the year. But we also, these mock drafts, we don't know. You don't know if they're accurate or not. I mean, it's about what an NBA valuation is, not what some mock. I'm not saying these guys don't have any idea what they're talking about, but it's not the gospel.
And you can get guarantees from teams too. Like take Thero for example. Like a team in the second round, early second round, mid second round could say, "Hey, if you're on the board, we're taking you and we're giving you this much money. Like we're signing you to an NBA contract. Now you might play some in the G League, but you're going to get guaranteed money. That's the type of thing that can happen in the second round."
I'm going to tell you what I heard in that video, above all other things, was we're not done yet.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not done yet.
That's right.
And so we were talking yesterday about how, hey, they could run them out there right now. And this is a good team. This is a good postseason team. But they're not done now, or they're not done yet. And there's still some good players out there.
I think when all is said and done, this will be, at least like on paper, going into a season, one of the most talented Razorback basketball teams, just based on paper, on what guys have accomplished so far.
It's going to be the most talented, ever.
There's a really good chance,
and nothing's even going to be close. And I say that respectfully. I'm not talking about how the season's going to end up.
Right.
I'm talking about the
roster that's assembled,
the bio that every person brings with them.
Now they still got to fit together. They all got to they got to be healthy. They have to play well together. But here's the thing: is you have a Hall of Fame coach who has a pretty good track record of figuring all that out.
Well, he does, but again, I think there's more to come.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the news on basketball is over
at all.
And but again, where they are right now is great. But this is, you've got some numbers over there that I know you're going to go over. Arkansas is in a really good spot to go out and sign the best players out there, and that's what they're doing.
According to Matt Norlander, CBS Sports, covering college basketball programs in the top tier of NIL money that have at least $10 million or more in NIL funds for this season: Arkansas, BYU, Duke, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisville, Michigan, North Carolina, St. John's, and Texas Tech. Those are the top tier, according to his research and whatever he was able to find out, NIL program.
Louisville needs to be getting better, don't they?
North Carolina?
Indiana maybe too. Yeah, there's a lot. And, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And then you've got
second tier.
$8
million or
Auburn,
around $8 million.
Auburn, UConn, Florida, Houston, Kansas State, Miami, Purdue, Tennessee, Texas, UCLA, USC, Villanova, and Virginia. $8 million. I'm kind of surprised Muss has that much to work with out there. He needs to get to sign some players.
Well, and then you got Chad Baker-Mazara, who is a
37-year-old, seventh year.
I got
senior.
him up to 42.
Okay.
Hey, there's only so many places you can go. I mean, he's I'm sure he's been compensated pretty well at Auburn. He obviously sees a bigger payday out there, though, or he wouldn't be leaving.
So are you thinking that he's going to be in one of the schools mentioned?
Well, maybe
because he they got the money.
He's at a school that's in the, it's hard to call $8 million a year second tier, but that's kind of where they are. I don't know. I mean, does he go to one of these schools that's got a little more money to spend?
Do we want Chad Baker-Mazara? We've poked a lot of fun at him on the show. He played for somebody else, the Auburn Tigers, and he got in the bench, at Arkansas, got in the face and got a tee, and he started allegedly started a fight with a teammate on a plane that had to be returned to Auburn on a road trip. He is the oldest, most immature player in college basketball.
He got kicked off the team at San Diego State.
Bart wanted to throw that in there. Do you want this guy?
No.
Okay, so if he comes here and if Cal does want him, do you want Cal to check with you first, or do you want are you cool?
I trust Cal. I trust Cal.
So then you'll be okay. All right.
Yeah, well, Cal obviously sees value in the guy.
I'll reevaluate.
And he knows more than I do.
Now, what am I going to do if I got to go do the introductory? If I got to do hold on, we'll get to that. If I got to go do the Chad Baker-Mazara Hog Pod to introduce him to Hog fans, hey man, who are you? Tell me about your journey. What are some things we don't know about you? Tell me about that.
Long and winding road.
Yeah. And do I need to issue a formal apology before I get started? Hey man, I didn't like you very much, but now you're here.
I don't think you should go there.
Well, we've been through
mind.
that. Yeah. We've been through that. I mean, that's, we've been through with our head coach, just to be honest. And, it's amazing how that relationship cemented itself about the time they got into the NCAA tournament.
But in the transfer portal world, it's crazy how next year they can be on your team. I know it happens occasionally in professional sports, but it's anybody, anytime in college athletics.
Well, you said it the other day. It's like, that guy was pretty good. Let's take him home.
Let's take him.
Let's buy him out and take him home with us.
Let's take him with us. But the guy you mentioned in the Chevy Fayetteville Situation Room is another, could be a potential target. I have no idea. What we don't know is what people are asking for and if Arkansas is really talking to them seriously.
I tell you what, this kid at Memphis is a player.
Yeah, third leading
PJ
scorer.
Haggerty?
Yeah,
PJ
third leading
Haggerty.
scorer in the nation. Almost 22 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
Conference Player of the Year.
American Athletic Conference Player of the Year. Very, very good basketball player and a guy you want on your team.
That's Bart in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. Right now, huge deals, 1.9 APR on brand new Chevys at the Fayetteville Auto Park. Stop by for all the details and top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the gang inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. 25 years in business at the Fayetteville Auto Park. Kyle Peterson, ESPN college baseball analyst, joins us next on Good Friday. It's the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach.
And I made some good calls today.
You sure did. You sure did.
If you haven't tried a Flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
For 5, 10, 15 seconds, stare it down and ask yourself, is this really a bracket that's going to determine the best team in college football?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You need to run that tape back for me because that didn't happen. Don't come at me with that crap.
Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Yeah. You must have your shows mixed up. That didn't happen here, pal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, if you want to talk college baseball, there's a number of places you could go, but there's really only one place to go, and that's Kyle Peterson.
He's the very best.
The mayor of Omaha and ESPN college baseball analyst. When there's a big game on, you'll see Kyle calling it. Kyle, good morning. Thanks for making time for us on the Chuck and Bo Show and getting up early with us.
Gentlemen, good morning. How are we doing?
We're doing great. I mean, we had a loss last night. Arkansas suffered, and Chuck and I get up. We're old. We get up early now and do the show, and you kind of got one eye open, but this team's capable of they're never out of a game, and you half expect it to happen, and when it doesn't, you're kind of like, well, dang. What are your thoughts so far on Arkansas this year?
I mean, I think they're as complete as anybody. Excuse me. It's interesting. I mean, for the last couple of years, the offense has been fine, but the offense wasn't necessarily the first thing you were going to talk about. They always pitch it. They're always going to be 2 or 3 deep on the weekend and then power arms to follow. But this year, it's you talk about both right away, and you can pick one, and there's no wrong answer. But I think the offense and the power that's come along with it, obviously some of the new names, but then the kind of additional growth that the Evo boys had this year, they're pretty complete, man. I mean, I think I haven't seen everybody, but I've seen most of them so far, and I don't think we have that team that you go, that is the best team in the country. But I think you got about 5 or 6 that say those are the best teams in the country, and Arkansas is definitely one of those.
What is, if you're a fan and you're watching Arkansas and you see them struggle in 2 games at Georgia and last night against A&M, how would you describe to maybe somebody who doesn't follow it as closely as you do what it's like to compete in this environment?
Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were just talking about conference realignment when I started doing this 20-some years ago. And when I got into it, it was kind of right when the SEC was starting to take that jump to be markedly better from everybody else. Always good, but the Pac was still good. Big 12 was still really good. And not to say the Big 12 isn't good, but there's a gap. And honestly, after the first year, I'm like, I am so tired of hearing this. Like, I played on the West Coast. I'm from the Midwest. I was so tired of hearing the SEC, the SEC, the SEC. And then the second year, when I was on the road the entire time, and you see it every week, you go, you know what, man, they're right. It is different. And it's depth. I was talking to Skip Johnson, Oklahoma's coach, about it the other night, just the differences of coming into the league. And he made a comment that I'd never really heard anybody say. And he goes, you know what? They got to become men really quick, because the environments that they go into in this league are different than the environments in any other league. There's great environments in other leagues, but there's nothing consistently to where you have a legitimate home field advantage as much as you do in this league. So I think it's a combination of its environment, and then obviously it's just the skill levels, the absolute top in the country. And there's no, I mean, maybe with the exception of Missouri this year, but there is not an off week. I mean, the off week is, well, that guy's going to play in the big leagues, and that guy's going to play in the big leagues, but they don't have 6 guys that are going to play in the big leagues. Like, that's your off week.
You were talking a minute ago, Kyle, about the 5 teams, or the handful of teams, I guess, out of the SEC that you look at and say they're capable. I think 5 now have been ranked number 1. Is this going to come down at the end of maybe who's going through that 2 or 3 week stretch where they can do no wrong, and that team's going to end up raising the trophy?
Yeah, I mean, Chuck, it kind of feels like it always does, right? I mean, you get to different points of the season. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, I thought Tennessee was the best team I'd ever seen from a collegiate standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And Notre Dame goes and beats them in a super, and they don't even go to Omaha. And then obviously they figured out a way to win the whole thing last year. But I think that, and health becomes a component of it, to make sure that the ones that you need healthy are healthy at the right time. The freshmen that aren't freshmen anymore when you get to the end of the year, that on a lot of lineups, not all, but a lot of lineups, can play a role down the stretch. But yeah, I mean, I think it's, and you got to have, I mean, Lord, you guys know this, but you got to have some baseball luck. I mean, it's because nobody is just going to flat out athlete everybody else this year. I don't see it happening. And there's others. I mean, Clemson's got a real club. Oregon State's got a real club. I saw them earlier this year. Florida State can line up with anybody, especially on the weekend. UCLA is a great story. Just being back in the conversation. But I don't think anybody consistently has the depth that the top teams in the SEC do right now.
Kyle Peterson, ESPN college baseball analyst. When you're watching Arkansas play, what do you see that could be an issue, or is there one? Is this just you're going to have ups and downs because of what we just got done talking about?
I think it's more that, honestly, guys. I don't think there's anything glaring that you look and say, well, potentially this could really clip them as they go down the road. I think the thing that gets forgotten a little bit in it is how they've defended. I mean, a lot of times you look at teams that, they're really offensive and it's power pitch and loaded, and there's plenty of swing and miss that they have on their pitching staff, but, I mean, they really defend. They don't strike out at a massive number. The walk numbers are pretty good. But generally, that hole is going to be on teams that hit a bunch of home runs that defensively they're not going to be as sound as others, and that's not the case. I mean, they're really strong up the middle, which you always want to be. I don't see it. Now, again, I think there's other teams you can say similar things about. But when you look at Arkansas, and to me say, okay, where are they potentially vulnerable? Well, they're vulnerable if they're playing a really good team. And the other really good team pitches the daylights out of it that night, and sometimes you're going to get beat, regardless of how complete and how good you are. But I mean, you guys have watched Arkansas for a long time. I think they're as complete as any team that Dave has had. Now, they may not win the thing and everything else that goes with it, but I think they're as complete as any that he's had.
The A&M team we saw last night, we'll see twice today, a preseason number 1. They've won 8 in a row. This is not all that uncommon in baseball to see a team get hot during the second half, but where do you see them right now in terms of, they've lost a lot of games, but they're looking more like a postseason team?
So, Chuck, the last time I saw them was the last time they lost. We had them at Tennessee. They got no hit and 10 run on the opener of the series. And I remember leaving that, and because of weather and stuff, we didn't do the next few. They played a doubleheader next day. And I remember leaving that day going, okay, they're 1-9, and they still have to go to Arkansas. They still, I mean, you look at the lineup that they still have to go to within the league. Like, if this team wins 8 or 9 games in the league, I'd be shocked. And they haven't lost. It is a drastically different team than it was not only that day that I saw, but the 3 or 4 weeks leading up to that point. And I think they finally, sometimes you got to trick yourself into thinking, yeah, we really are that good. And you sweep a doubleheader at Tennessee after you just got the doors blown off you last night, and you jump on that charter and you feel like, hey, okay, we might be pretty good again. And they haven't stopped since. And, back to the base, they hit 2 grand slams to walk off South Carolina last weekend. Nobody has 2 grand slams in a ninth inning. There's just some stuff that you're like, man, I haven't really seen that. But the belief is there. Talent was there. But the belief is there. Not having Grohovac is a real deal. I mean, he was an important part of that offense, and they're not going to get him back this year. But they've had some guys step up. The Bear Harrison kid was unheard of for the first month and a half, and now he's hitting in the middle of the lineup. Sorrell's back and healthy, and obviously that changes that offense. It gives Lavalette a lot more protection in the lineup than he had when he was out. So, yeah, man, I did not see this coming because I saw them at their absolute lowest point, I think, this season, and since then it's been nothing but highs. Now, I don't think they're going to, I don't think this is a team that we're going to look up at the end of the year that's hosting. I think there's too far to go. But heck, I could be wrong. I mean, the run that they're on right now, they're not. They're showing you why everybody thought they were the number 1 team in the country. Right. They're not as deep on the mound. They're good. They're not as deep on the mound. Prager's not quite what he was last year. But, when Weston Moss comes out of nowhere and throws 5 scoreless, makes your pitching staff look a little better.
I want to ask, too, about, and this has nothing to do with Texas A&M or necessarily Arkansas, but the growth of the game beyond just what we traditionally think is college baseball regions. And what I'm driving at is, Arkansas's got a player from Australia, multiple players from Hawaii. I can remember times when, guys might go 2 states over, but that's as far as they were going to go. In your case, you went out, to the West Coast from the Midwest, but just the growth of the game and the players and the places coaches are getting them from, I think it's been remarkable over the last 20 years.
I think it's been remarkable, and I guess the statement I'm going to make is it's kind of depressing to me a little bit just because of where I played. A lot of it is due to the fact that West Coast baseball is not what it used to be, and quite honestly, that the Pac-12 conference doesn't exist anymore. Because so many of the guys that are going a long ways are West Coast players that are going to areas of the country they never used to. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it's just you either change with the times or you go extinct. But as you've seen kind of I would say the downturn of West Coast baseball in general, and there's exceptions, but in general, you've seen those players go to other areas of the country, and the two are directly correlated. I still remember when Jacob Gonzalez was playing shortstop for Ole Miss, and I'm looking at it going, man, this kid's from Southern California. Like, how in the world did they let him out of Southern California? And it's an example of many. Years ago, man, the first one I remember doing it is when Pat Burrell went from the Bay Area to Miami. And when Pat Burrell went to Miami, and then his freshman year and has the career that Burrell had when he was at Miami, it was the first one that really jumped out of, whoa, I didn't really see him going there. And obviously now it's very commonplace. So I think that's a lot of it, Chuck. And obviously, it's, you bring a kid in from anywhere and you show them the facilities and the support and everything, the fan bases that are in the Southeastern Conference. I don't care where you're from. That place. That's something you want to be a part of.
Kyle, always great catching up with you. Thanks for the depth of that. We'll be hopefully looking for recommendations in Omaha once again this year, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So we look forward to doing it again. Thank you for getting up with us, and have a good call tonight on your game.
Thank you, Kyle.
I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I look forward to getting down there.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. We look forward to that. Thanks, Kyle. KP, he's as good as it gets right there.
He's the very best college baseball analyst out there.
Lives in Omaha and played at Stanford.
Played against the Razorbacks. Pitched against the Razorbacks years and years ago.
7:45. It's Good Friday. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Sam Pitman at 8 o'clock. Good morning.
The Chuck.
A lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but they but one Razorback. Number one.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
We care a lot about supporting Arkansas businesses here on the Chuck and Bo Show, and we both like keeping our rides looking good. Splash Car Wash just became our new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're a locally owned Arkansas business, and they've been serving the state since 1989. They're good folks, and you can get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. That's Splash Arkansas to 22322.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
So I spent yesterday, you don't mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We keep threatening to show behind the scenes live on the stream. It's going to happen someday. We're all going to get fired for it. There's just like total chaos.
It's mayhem around here. It really is.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I want to be a college basketball player for 1 year. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Get some NIL money for 1 year. And I'd be good with that.
Hey, I'm happy for these guys. I hope and I believe this about guys that Cal has. They got a lot of smart people around them helping them make good decisions. You know, the worst thing is when you have a big year like that at a really young age and you look back when you're 35 and you're like, what was I thinking? What was I doing with that, life-changing money I had in college? Which is one of the things people have talked a lot about. And also, I think it's hard for people to, to make the most money you're ever going to make in your life at that age. Hopefully that's not the case for many of these guys. But we're setting the whole thing is set up for all kinds of things to go wrong. And I think that Cal, and I've said this before, we've talked about it on the show, is as equipped from his leadership position and his experiences, his skill set, how he does things to deal with this world than anybody in all of college athletics. I don't know anybody better to deal with this.
Well, he's got his system built up, and it's through all the years at Memphis and Kentucky.
All the pros he's dealt with.
Right. He has elevated himself and his programs to a level that others just haven't achieved. And he's going to get not only, generally speaking, the best players, but he's going to get the best kids. You're not, I don't think, going to see bad apples, so to speak. Like sometimes you'll see at programs where they get a really good player, but he's not necessarily, a really good kid, for lack of a better way to put it. And so Cal's going to get those guys. Where you get into what you were talking about 20 years from now, man, I wish I'd done things a little bit differently. Those are the guys that aren't going to be pros. A lot of the guys Cal has going to be pros. This won't be the most money they make. For a lot of guys in college basketball, they won't make this much money over the next 10 years after they're done, or maybe 20 years, or maybe for the rest of their lives. So it just kind of depends on which plane you find yourself on. But Arkansas is at a very good tier right now. I mean, they're at that top tier. And I think we're going to see results that bear that out.
Hey, let me tell you about Sweatinum Cosmetic and the Sweatinum Edge real quick. I've mentioned it many times. You've heard it, and I believe in it because you can go around in life feeling like you're barely making it, and it's no fun. You're tired all the time. Every afternoon's a struggle. You don't have to feel like that. Get your levels checked. Get your labs. Figure out where you are. Especially once you get into your late 30s, your mid 40s, but it may be even before that. I mean, there are people in their 20s that are like they just are not quite like at the energy level they once were. You can get it looked at and taken care of. Just get evaluated. Take the free evaluation. It's the Sweatinum Edge, and they'll give you some feedback and a game plan on how you can feel like yourself again. The Sweatinum Edge. You can just Google that. It'll take you right to the page, or you can go to SweatinumCosmetic.com, click on the Sweatinum Edge, and it can be life-changing. It's made a huge difference for me, I'll tell you that. Are we going to have a football game on Saturday?
The rain holds off. Well, we can ask Coach Pitman. How about that?
1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
Regardless, we're going to get a summary of how spring has been, what they got to do in the portal moving forward, what he's seen from this team so far, what still has to be answered, the state of the spring union on Good Friday. Coming up.
That's a good way to put it.
With Arkansas head coach Sam Pitman. It's 7:55. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Glad you're here. Coach Pitman next. At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at StonebreakerHotel.com.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry. It's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Chris in Fayetteville. You're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I left the show a few minutes early yesterday. I should do that more often.
Took off.
Because I get to go evaluate our talent.
Yeah.
I know. You're really, really good.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's told you this. You can really host a show.
Well, so can you.
Yeah, I just need to get the hell out of the way sometimes.
We're better together.
But that's wow, isn't that sweet? Did you hear? Mark it down. Put it down. Chuck was sweet.
Well.
On National High Five Day, it took about 5 minutes and he was in.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
Do you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It's Good Friday and a great time to talk to Arkansas head coach Sam Pitman as we look ahead to a potential spring game tomorrow, depending on how the weather goes. Coach, good morning. Glad you're here. Thanks for making time for us today. I hope you're well.
Good morning. Good morning. I do want to clarify this because I think you're 100% correct on this. We're going to play the spring game unless the weather people tell us we can't. You know what I mean? I don't want any confusion with the fans because, to be honest with you, we've had 14 practices, good on good, very physical camp. We need to use the 15th practice, but we're using it more for the fans to come out and see the team than even we would for getting better and all that. We want to have a great day and we want to get better, but we want to play in front of the crowd. So we're going to have it unless lightning or something tells us we can't.
Coach, you said you've been going good on good a lot in the spring. When you've got all these new players and you're trying to figure everything out, how difficult is it to determine, who the good is that you're going to put up against one another?
What a great question. The way that you can really find out about who can play the game of football is to play the game of football. In other words, you have to tackle. You have to break tackles. You have to see who can catch with someone that's getting ready to tackle it, not someone that's going to whiz by him. You have to see somebody that can make a tackle and knock a ball loose. If you don't see that in the spring, what happens is we all, we want to get to the game in the fall. And so our tackling, even though you tackle an individual, you don't tackle in team as much in the fall as the opportunity in the spring you have. And that's simply because if you had an ankle injury, if you had an injury, you'd have more time to heal and be ready for the season. So what we did, and I would do it every year, is we had segmented tackling at practice. So we've tackled to the ground every bit of 5 times, possibly 6 this year, and it might be in 12 play segments. It might be in 18 play segments, obviously not 18 in a row. But we've done that several times. We've had one full-fledged scrimmage, and then, of course, we'll play the spring game. Going good on good allows us to figure that out. It allows us to. Some guys are just better players when you allow them to play the full game of football. A lot of people look good in underwears and shorts, and no helmets and all that. But your true football players are those ones. And if you don't give them the opportunity to show their true ability on the field, you'll never find it out until the season starts. And that's certainly way too late at that time. So to answer your question, to me, you've got to play the game and you've got to not be afraid to tackle each other. And that's what we've done this spring. And I think we know exactly who we have on our team and exactly who's on the depth chart and where we're at.
Coach, it's hard to believe it's year 6 for you. And I reflect quickly on, COVID and then transfer portal. And then we'll just call it pay for play, which some people are calling NIL. And then now you're going to have another change. You're going to have rev share. And you've got, we've seen the situation at Tennessee, and And it sounds like a really, basic question, but like spring practice, you have more new players year to year now than you've ever had. Now they've got experience and they come from other places. What have you learned in year 6 while navigating all the new things that you think helps you here as you come out of this spring?
Well, I think, number one, I think what went on with Nico, because he was so high profile, that it brought attention to, we may need to change the portal window, or we may need to get into rev share, where there at that point there's going to be a lot more equality financially in the game of collegiate football. But that's been going on for 4 years. He's just high profile. So, I mean, we've lost kids at the end of spring portal, every school in the country. I remember last year we had 8 scholarships left, and we brought in 8 or 9 guys. Well, it was all fine and dandy for us, but the teams they left, it might not have been so good, and so that's been going on now. This just brought it to new heights because of the high-profile part of it. But guys have been transferring for money for a long, long time, and I get it. Hell, coaches transfer for money. So I get all that. But I've learned that the biggest thing is to not take it personal. The other thing is the portal is the portal, and so such and such number of guys go in the portal. Well, 10 or 12 of them, or whatever the number may be, might be walk-on guys that want to go somewhere else and actually play and get a scholarship, maybe a Division II scholarship or something like that. Well, that's a good thing. They want to do that, and so I've learned that the public. I think the public has been way more educated as well in the portal situation. So what I've done is I'm trying to stay more patient. I'm trying not to get upset because you're saying Christmas morning, Lord, thank you for everything. Oh, let me get this phone. Oh, you're going in the portal. Easter's coming up. Let's break some bread here on Easter Sunday. Oh, by the way, you're going in the portal? Could you have waited till after I got my lunch done? I think, we've got to do something with this portal window. We're human too. And to have the portal open over the Christmas break and or Christmas Day and have the portal over Easter, to me is a little bit ridiculous. But I've learned to deal with it, I think, more. I've learned to deal with it better, and we have a better plan, I think, in how to approach and how to talk to our players. And equality with this rev sharing will help the University of Arkansas. Bo, we went from 4-20 to top 20 when the game was equal, and I think in 2 years. And I think equality will help the University of Arkansas.
Hey, Coach, we talked earlier about how you brought a lot of guys in, very much so at wide receiver. What's that group look like over the past month?
Yeah, I like the slot position a lot with Sharp and Shanks. I mean, a lot. They are option route. They are jet sweep running guys. They can break away from man coverage. They can find holes in the defense. I like both of them. Shanks is also a great punt returner. On the outside, the guy that's really come on, CeCe's always been a really good player. The kid transferred in from Stanford, but Omega Blake is a guy that has made huge, huge strides. He's always been talented, but I think now he's understanding a little bit more. He's playing faster. He's got a lot of confidence. And, C.J. Brown is a guy that has gotten better. I'm so excited about my coaching staff and our players because, to a man, these guys are getting better. And C.J. Brown is probably one of those guys. Is one of those guys that's done that. So I think right now we probably got 7, maybe 8 that we think we can go out and win SEC games with. Maybe a few more, but 7 or 8 right off the top of my mind. I like that group. I think they're continuing to. Cross Johnson's improved, and I think they've continued to get better. And Crutchfield, I think Crutchfield's going to help us too. He's just been hurt in and out at times, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer through the summer and during the fall to figure exactly how much he'll help us this next season.
Coach, big question. You could go on forever, but if you could just summarize, like, what's the state of the union? No, you're fine. But I'm asking a broad question.
Okay.
Summarize, like, state of the union. Where are you at as a program, awaiting this spring game tomorrow?
Well, I think this is as good a team as we've had. I like the cohesiveness. I like the feel of the team. I like the way they like each other. I like our work ethic. As a head coach, you have a feeling when you stand up in front of the team, and it's either a great feeling, good feeling, terrible feeling. And these guys, they want to hear what we have to say. They take coaching it's a tough team. We obviously have a few guys for depth and for, to add into our program, not many. But I like where we're at. If you look at it and you go, well, you're not very good at punter. Well, no, we're really good at punter. Well, you're not very good here on special team. No, we're really good there. So there's not a group out there that I'm going, oh, my Lord, I hope they don't pick on us here, and here. We do need some additional depth. But I really like my staff. I like the kids. And I love their work ethic, and so I feel really, really good about it. I think we've got a wonderful team. I was telling the guys, the staff, there's not a team. They're all really good. We have high respect for all of them, but there's not a team on our schedule that we don't feel like every time that we run out each and every week that we can win the game. Now, whether we do or not, it's going to have to do with, how well we play, turnovers and all that. But we've got a good football team, and I'm excited to show the fans, the state of Arkansas, what we have.
Coach, I got to ask one more question before we get you out of here. The portal, what are you looking for? What do you want to try to pick up over the next few weeks?
I think we need a veteran linebacker. We have some really good linebackers, as you well know. But I think we need another veteran guy. You can't have too many. I do like our linebacker room, but number-wise, we probably need to add one there. Probably same thing. And our probably biggest need is numbers. Our defensive numbers are down over offense. I'd like to get, some DBs, whether that be corner, safety. And then, I think we would, like everybody, but we would like to have a dynamic rush end out of this group. So that's about 5 probably, Chuck, defensively that we'd like to add. Now, let me say this, too. If we don't add anybody, we're going to be just fine, but, I depending on injuries and all that. So we do need to add those 5. And offensively, it just depends on what happens in the portal. We may add another receiver, possibly. But other than that, unless somebody leaves us that would be a surprise to us right now, that would probably be it. If they did, we would just replace. So if somebody left us, we'd just replace that position in the portal.
Coach, it's been great having you on. I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed. You cost me $100 today, but at least it wasn't $200. But every time we have a guest on and they tell Chuck that he asked a great question, and they don't say that to me, it's another $100 that Chuck's getting out of my pocket. So I'm just going to throw this out there for the future, if you wouldn't mind, like when you come on again, and just no matter how bad my question was, just say, man, that was a really great question, so I can keep up with Chuck.
Well, can you ask me what my name is?
Coach, what's your name?
What a great question.
Hey,
even Steven.
Hey, we're rigging this thing now. It's rigged now.
Nobody's ever asked me that. It's Samuel Don Pitman, and Samuel's from Samuel in the Bible, Don's from my dad, and Pitman's also from my dad. Man, what a great question. Nobody's ever been that thoughtful.
That was good.
Well, Coach, thanks for balling on a budget with us today. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Thanks,
Happy
Coach.
Easter.
All right, we'll see you,
Bye
Coach. Thank you, Sam Pittman.
That's good.
He did. He said, that's a really great
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
And I was like, here we go again.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
going to hear about this in the break. 8:18, good morning on Good Friday. Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, GUTTERS.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
ask Chuck anything, Chuck gives you anything.
Well, and it's not always right, but it's I say it with conviction.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I enjoyed that.
He was good. He's really good in that setting. He's at ease. You don't get the feeling that you're getting a lot of coach speak. Now, people, ultimately you win games, people love you. You lose games, people hate you. That's how it works. But in that setting, he's as good as we've got.
The thing about being the head football coach at Arkansas is you don't have any room for error, and every coach is going to have error. And we can all debate why, and I'm sure we will all summer long, about the challenges of winning football games at Arkansas. And I look forward to those conversations because I think it's important to have all of it, get it all out there, to try to understand it. And it doesn't mean that you're settling for less, in my opinion, when you talk about those things. But remember this. They were 4-20 before he got here, and he did make them a top 25 team. And then we got into this whole other situation called the portal, and it's his job and everybody else is over there to figure that out and manage it. And he knows that and has talked about it. But Sam Pitman wanted to be here. He wanted really badly to be here, and Arkansas needed that when he came here. And, again, there's been some ups and downs, but there's been some ups. Like, don't forget that. And, I think he loves that job. I think he loves this program. I think he loves this state. I think he's good for this state, and I want people like that to be successful. But how it all plays out will determine, how long he's here or how long he wants to be here. But, for him to say that he feels really good about his team, I think that excites you. But I think people connect with Sam Pitman. You'll wait and see how it plays out on the field, but they connect with him. Like our state connects with him. Everybody wants to win more games. It's frustrating when you don't. And nobody in that position is going to be beloved when they're not winning games. Like, it doesn't matter. Houston Nutt did so much for this state, and we were flying airplanes over the stadium to get him the heck out of here and didn't care that he was going to another school in the same division. And nobody loved Arkansas more.
Ken Hatfield still got the highest winning percentage.
Yeah.
And
you said it. Arkansas can fire coaches with the best of them. It's like
we can eat our own sometimes too.
So we'll see how it plays out. But I really enjoy him. I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate him. It's not just making time for us. He's making time for you. And you get to connect with him.
Well, and that's important. And you got to talk to your fans, not at them, to them. And he does a very good job of that.
Every once in a while we get a text daily, in fact, that just kind of sets me off because I don't understand people that think like this. And that doesn't make me right and them wrong, but I don't understand the way people – because there's no logic behind it to me. And so you can tell me if I'm wrong. But Jesse from Springdale, you're up. You're up right here. I'm sure y'all won't mention anything about this text. You're already wrong. Because he's never allowed to be criticized. But if the Hogs baseball team doesn't win the College World Series, would it not be fair to say that DVH is like the Rick Barnes of college baseball? I know he's an awesome coach, but I would think as good as he is, that he would already have multiple College World Series wins. Can we break this down a second?
Please.
I know he's an awesome coach, but I would think as good as he is, that he would already have multiple College World Series wins. How can you be awesome and be as good as you are and then be questioned on whether you are in the next 4 words? So what are you at? I think what you're asking, Jesse, like to yourself, or maybe you're trying to make the statement and just come out and say it. You're not a great coach unless you win the College World Series. Is that what you're saying? Is that literally what you're saying? So is it also true that you are a great coach if you ever win the College World Series or a national championship in some other sport? Are you telling me like Dave Van Horn's not a good coach if he doesn't win the College World Series? And not only that, it seems like you're saying if he doesn't do it this year. Like, what kind of moron juice do you drink?
Well, there we go.
I think that's a fair question.
No.
What makes you think that?
No, I mean, look, Mike Martin is widely regarded as one of the best to ever do it in college baseball. Longtime Florida State head coach. He went to the College World Series. I can't even tell you how many times, like 17, like 15, 17, something ridiculous like that. Never won it. Never won it. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach. He's one of the best to ever do it. Things get like you. Here's the thing that I don't think people fully understand about the College World Series. It gets weird there. Like, weird things happen in Omaha. You have to get lucky with the draw. You have to win your first game. You know, there are just so many elements. And then on top of that, you're playing basically one game series against these teams. Now, you might play a team twice there in Omaha. You might play a team 3 times in Omaha. But like it's difficult. And there's a lot of randomness and there's a lot of luck that's involved in winning a College World Series title. Just ask anybody who has ever played or coached a game there.
I think sometimes when we have a really good coach, really good player, whatever the sport is, you jump from we're really good to we're going to win the national championship. That's a big leap from we're really good to we're going to win it all. Arkansas is they're going to be right there in the hunt this year, just like they always are. Let's not take that part for granted. Let's not take for granted that Arkansas is one of the teams every year that's going to be mentioned as a possibility to make the College World Series, a good possibility. You know, winning it all, that would be great. Certainly would be. A lot of people still aren't over what happened 7-8 years ago now, and I get all that. But there are a lot of programs out there, and a lot of them don't do as well as Arkansas does, and we've got a lot to. I mean, we got a lot to be thankful for there.
It's just the stupidity.
Well, I mean,
like, it's just like
I get it.
Like, can somebody get me the stats? And maybe there's a coach that's just won a whole bunch of College World Series at one program. Maybe that exists. I know we have coaches.
Well, when
that
there
have
wasn't
more
the parity,
one-on-one. But what I'm saying is, like, you think about a guy like Paul Maneri. Well, how many guys have won a national championship at LSU?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and how, like, go look at the rich tradition of a program. I mean, what Dave Van Horn has done at Arkansas is something that's never been done here before. And I know what Coach DeBryan has done, and we've told his story. And Arkansas did some great things, and he did build a baseball program here. Then the climate changes completely. Like, the SEC is a completely different animal. And Dave Van Horn's won this league. And he, you know, like, he's been to the College World Series 9 times. And like, the idea that you're even in that conversation to even have the question on whether or not he's the GOAT if he doesn't win a national championship, do you even realize what that means that he's done here? Like, that's the question. Do you realize that? Do you realize that even get into that conversation, what that means he's accomplished here? And it just becomes, like, so moronic to me that people aren't thoughtful. And when they're not thoughtful, and then they want to be critical. Like, if you don't want to be thoughtful, that's fine. But then when you turn it into, like, criticism. By the way, you want to criticize Rick Barnes? Like, there's another one. You think he's not a good coach?
Well, he's not played for the national championship, has he? Has Rick Barnes played for the?
No, he's been to
all the marbles?
one Final Four.
There's a lot of people
that's really not a good comparison.
Not even in the conversation. But I think Rick Barnes is a really good coach.
No, I do too. But
the idea that he's somehow
But Dave's
not.
done better than Rick Barnes is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Easter, buddy.
Bo. Hey,
don't sit in my row.
No. Listen, I'll tell you one thing Dave has done, and I admire this. He hadn't quit. You know, all these Hall of Famers, and I understand why Saban quit. I drove Krzyzewski out of the game. Dave hadn't quit.
Not only that,
he's just adapted.
I think he gets better every year.
Maybe so, but
and he's already great.
Maybe so, but
he adapts, he adjusts.
Right. That's right.
He's always trying to pivot into where you got to be in today's world with this program.
No, you're right, and
it's an unbelievable job. It's just unbelievable. Like, just quit that. Just get that narrative out of your mouth. Like, it's just ridiculous. Sorry, not sorry. 8:33. Good morning. It's good
Well,
Friday.
you said something interesting. I don't think you meant to, but when you talked about Bill's...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We care a lot about supporting Arkansas businesses here on the Chuck and Bo Show, and we both like keeping our rides looking good. Splash Car Wash just became our new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're a locally owned Arkansas business, and they've been serving the state since 1989. They're good folks, and you can get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. That's Splash Arkansas to 22322.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
tells her.
Chuck and I started the show. He said we want to deal with smart people, smarter than us. It's going to take a while for them to show up because they've been dumbed down, but they'll show up.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow, that was kind of like a revelation right there during the break. Wow, Chuck. What?
I'm filled with surprises.
What?
Filled with
Shocking
surprises.
development here.
What? He said it so casually too.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So
I'm flabbergasted.
I was looking into this guy that's on the the basketball team. It's from Lebanon, Kareem Retail, and it's Retail. But I looked it up on AI.
Well, actually, what I did, I went to Google, as I always do when I don't know the answer to something, and I put pronunciation of Lebanese last name, Rtail. I didn't know if it was a common name, and apparently it is in Lebanon. Now, there's a way, according to AI, that you are supposed to gutturally roll your R. Now, I don't know what gutturally roll your R means. Maybe like that.
Tail.
But it's Tael. Tael's how it's pronounced. I'm unclear on the rolling of the R. Well, it's a guttural roll, not a roll. I don't know. It said from the back of the throat. I'm just saying what AI said.
Edward. Try it. You're shaking your head at me. You try it. Guttural roll.
What is
I
it?
don't even know where to start. Yeah, that's.
But at any rate,
you were on AI. At any
I
rate.
was on AI, and the Tael part I know that's accurate. Now, how exactly you say the R part, I'm not sure. But, hey, I go a little bit deeper than most people. I mean, I wanted to know.
There is. Depth is a word that comes to mind to describe you. Derek in Fayetteville, Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Derek.
How are you guys?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Great. My question is, do we think that NIL has affected baseball nearly as much as it has basketball and football now?
Yes. Just on a smaller scale. The money's not as good, but on a smaller scale, yes. And
it still affects recruiting.
Yeah, it absolutely it does. I mean, you've got – and you'll have an occasional bidding war, like Paul Skeens was a bidding war. And sometimes that'll happen. Yes, I think it's had a profound effect. Just the numbers aren't as great as they are in basketball and football.
And do we think the numbers aren't as good as because of the ability to leave from high school straight to the show?
No, it's because of revenue. It's because of revenue. Okay. Baseball doesn't generate the revenue the others does.
Okay.
Also, I'll say this.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will say this. A lot of baseball players grow up playing the game, come from families who can support it because it's expensive. And you got to travel and you got to pay for all that. And I'm not saying that's not the case with particular athletes in other sports, but baseball players are used to paying their own way in a lot of ways. For a long time, you didn't have a full allotment of scholarships in baseball. So it is a different dynamic, but it's really about the level of other schools and teams. Everybody's still competing in this area, this lane. And so it does affect recruiting and can affect recruiting. But I don't know if it's as much of a determining factor as it is in football or basketball on deciding for most of them where they want to go play.
I think regardless of the financial condition of your family, you want to be wanted. And the way you tell a college athlete now that you are wanted is to make a better offer than the guys who want them to. So I do think it comes into play. And here's the thing. You want to talk about the difference in amateur sports and AAU basketball, for example. I mean, they're buying your plane tickets. They're asking you if you need any help. Hey, what can we do to get your kid to play for us? In baseball, these parents are taking out second and third mortgages so they can travel with these teams because nobody's picking up their tab. So I do think it plays more of a role. We tend to.
It does. I just don't know that the swings are as big.
Well,
you're not
because
getting
the money's not as great. The money's not as great.
Exactly.
I mean, $2 million. That's hard to compete with. When you're. But now, again, you are going to have the guys that put you over the top, like a Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
You're still going to have to bid real money to get players like that.
And you can lose out on a young man that would want to play for you if you're not playing at a certain level.
with your NIL
That's
budget.
right.
You know, you got to at least meet some sort of standard. 877-377-6963. Hey, What to Watch is brought to you by Macadoodles, just north of Bentonville, just north of Bella Vista, north of the state line. And guess who in Bentonville? 15% off all bottles of wine at Macadoodles. And guess who? Every Wednesday, whether it's already on sale or not, you get 15% off every bottle of wine. Wine tasting, 7A to close every day of the week. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they've got spirit tasting as well. Great selection of all spirits, beers, craft beers, wines, customer service out of this world. It's an experience when you go to Macadoodles. It's not just a store for all of your get-together needs. It's way more than that. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and at Guess Who in Bentonville, a different kind of shopping experience. Bart, what are we watching?
Well, we got some double headers today to keep an eye on. Both baseball and softball. Arkansas and A&M start at 2 on the SEC Network Plus. Both games on Plus there. Softball hosts Colorado State for a doubleheader. That starts at 2:30 on SEC Network Plus as well. Got some play-in games tonight. The last play-in games tonight. The Heat are at the Hawks. That's at 6 on TNT. And then you have the Mavericks at my Memphis Grizzlies at 8:30 on ESPN.
Wearing the hat.
We'll take Scott's call. We got to hit a break, but we'll take Scott's call when we come back. It's 8:45. Good morning.
Do you think Kim Mulkey could operate a jackhammer?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at StonebreakerHotel.com. Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, man. I got revved up.
I know you did. Both of you did.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get revved up on something different than
you
that
guys
segment.
got so fired up, I started sweating. And I wasn't doing anything that segment.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Happy birthday to Nick Smith Jr. today. He's 21.
Are you kidding me? 21?
21.
Wow.
Today. Scott is in Mountain Home. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing great. How y'all today?
Doing
Good to hear from you.
Hey, Bo, I agree with you 100% about DVH being a GOAT, even though he doesn't win the national championship. What I would be interested in seeing is I've listened to Ty on numerous occasions on the Morning Rush talk about how until DVH wins a national championship, he cannot be considered the GOAT. I'd like to hear a debate between the two of you on that.
It would end with him leaving the studio.
Well, that's fine because, like I said, I agree with you, and I just always thought he was kind of off kilter.
That's a generational thing. Oh, yeah. That's someone who's a product of the ESPN generation. And I'm not casting stones. I'm just saying the ESPN generation thinks you win the national championship or you suck. I mean, that's just how
Very
it
good
is.
point.
That's just how they are.
Great point.
I mean, it's
well, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
right,
it's a totally. Thank you, Scott. It's a totally different environment too now. With the with all the talent in this league and all that, and I think we have examples of the greatest of all time winning championships. We do. We also have examples of all-time greats not winning championships. It is sometimes an anomaly to people how somebody could be the greatest of all time but never win a championship. Dan Marino is no less of a quarterback.
No.
And I don't know if Ty in that generation knows who Dan Marino is. But
and look, I'm not criticizing Ty.
No,
He's not the only one that thinks that way.
I agree. 100% agree. But to me, when you get into tournament, playoff, postseason situations, okay, Tom Izzo won one. Tom Izzo's as good a college basketball coach as there has ever been. To me, it's about consistency. It's about, are you there every year? That's a GOAT when it comes to coaching. When it comes to playing, when you want to talk about the all-time great players, maybe you can make more of an argument on you had to win a championship. When it comes to coaching, you don't play the games. But has Dave Van Horn routinely put his players in a position to win it all? He has. Has he routinely given fans an amazing season? But you can't control all the outcomes. There's somebody on the other side. And in any given year, it's not just matchup or who you draw or whatever. In any given year, one guy on the mound in baseball can have the performance of his life and change everything in one game.
That's right. And everybody's got one good pitcher. Everybody's got one ace.
We saw one of them last night.
Everybody's got somebody that can shut you down if they're on.
But this idea that he's, that's like the cherry on top to go win that. But again, Chuck, we can talk to, do you think Larry Coker's a GOAT? Do you know who Larry Coker is? I'm not talking to you. Do you know who Larry Coker is? He won a national championship.
With somebody else's players.
I think Danny Ford did too, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly
Danny
right.
Ford, a GOAT. Was Houston not a better coach at Arkansas than Danny Ford was? Well, Danny Ford won a national championship. He must have been better. So I would encourage people that think on a very surface level to go a little deeper. Did that sound like I was talking down at people? I apologize.
Yeah, but that's okay. Sometimes you got to.
Sometimes short guys get up on a ladder.
That's right. Hey,
we get up on a ladder.
You climbed it very well today.
Well, I'll tell you what. I am ready for Easter weekend. I'm going to celebrate.
Doubleheader today,
on
2 o'clock.
Sunday.
Football at 1. As Coach Pitman said, unless it's a thunderstorm, they're going to play the game.
Chuck and Bo Show. Have a great Easter weekend.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the